Chair Manny Martinez,
Present.
Councillor Dennis Team Salazar,
Present.
Councillor Dorothy Valdez,
Present.
Councillor Peggy Sue Martinez.
Honored to be with you all.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have the agenda in front of you, counselors? Can you please look at the agenda and can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, sir.
Do I have a
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor of the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, agenda is approved. Do we have anybody signed up for public comment?
Yes, we do. Miss Graviela Silva from NIMRAC. Are you public comment? Sorry. Justine Valencia, Project Race.
Please state your name for the record, please.
Justine Valencia, City of Escondido Project Race Department. So good evening, Chair, members of the committee. With you, you should have a flyer and also a letter. Project Race, as you know, in the past, in 2019, we had hosted a back to school supply drive and backpack giveaway. And we are hoping to have that again. Now with COVID restrictions kind of airlifting and everybody coming back together, we definitely want to bring the community back together and reunite all the community members and surrounding communities. So on with you, you have the flyer. It gives you the date. We will be having it Saturday, July 31st. This event will take place from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and this will be at Espanola Plaza. The students must be present to receive a backpack. Right now, we are still in the process of getting sponsors and donations. So this event, I could just say right now that it's going to be a pretty big and good event, better than previous years. This is our third year doing this with the backpacks and the touch-a-truck and lowriders. And we're possibly going to be adding some more stuff to it as well. The letter does indicate a little bit about the event, a little bit about our program, and then it also is asking for any donation or sponsorship that anybody would like to get involved with the event, and also the touch-a-truck portion. And that's pretty much it. So I welcome anyone that's here today to come out to this event and celebrate the kids back to school and get them out of this this funk of staying home and doing everything online, because as you know, they're going back to school in person. So we want to celebrate the kids. We want to have this event to be family oriented, where families could come out, get together, spend a day with their kids, have fun, and just make it a good event.
Can you give us like an idea? I know you said this is your third year of providing this, and every year I'm sure it gets bigger, and as you go on, just to give us an idea as compared to your first year and second year, how many backpacks did you give away on those 2 years?
So the first year, which was in 2019, we got together 1,500 backpacks. We went ahead and gave away 1,200 backpacks.
1,200.
1,200. The rest of the backpacks that were left over were donated. They were donated to the surrounding schools, such as James H. Rodriguez, McCurdy, Sombrio, and even going to Powake. The second year in 2020, because of COVID, we were unable to hold this event in person. So what we went ahead and did is we held a drive-through backpack event, and it wasn't very big, it wasn't very successful. In that year, I think we only got together about 300 to 400 backpacks and gave away maybe 200 of them. And this year, like I said, we're still in the planning stages of collecting donations and collecting sponsorships. I know that there are other events that will be taking place as well, kind of similar. So I've reached out to those organizations to partnership as well. So I'm pending on that to see if they're gonna participate.
And Councilor Martinez?
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Ms. Justine, for your presentation. Thank you for your efforts in bringing this awesome event back. I know that I've been out there when you guys have had it. I've tried to volunteer. I plan on trying to be there for you guys this year. I'm just really excited about seeing this come back, mostly because of what you mentioned about students being so cooped up in their homes and not really going to school and stuff. And I feel like this year it's going to be very different for them to get back in the classroom with masks and different protocols and things like that. But I feel like it's really important for our community to get behind all of that effort. And I really feel like you've done an immense job in this and putting all this together. Could you touch base a little bit on how this is funded through the grant and through the business community here in Española?
So speaking on that, so I will say that the first year in 2019, HIDA, as we're Project Grace, is federally funded through the New Mexico High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area. We've went ahead through our light items that is funded through HIDA. We've went ahead and the first year, it was around $1,000 that we spent for school supplies and backpacks. The second year, we didn't reach out for donations or sponsorships because again, we were in the middle of the pandemic. So again, we went ahead and bought everything ourselves. We didn't want to give away too many backpacks because school supplies and backpacks are expensive. So we went ahead and again, pulled out of the HIDA funds again. And this year we're going to possibly pull out again, but we are just going to strive on trying to get donations, sponsors, and volunteers.
I will help you on that day, so for sure, keep me in touch. Also, Chairman Martinez and the rest of the committee, I'm interested in knowing if you all feel like the race program should probably report to our committee. Like we have her go to public safety, but I really feel like it's part of community and I really want to hear like what's going on with you. That way we can all be in the loop and work together with that, you know? So I'd just like to see her come to public.
I agree with you, especially when you're having these type of events. I think it's very important that we also know what's going on as well. So I don't know if you are able to do that if we could add her to our committee as far as to have a report, especially when it deals more with community services, events that you are putting together. It would be nice to see how we can support you as well.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I'm up to being on whatever committees I need to be on and able to, you know, we are federally funded, but the city is our home. So we definitely want to be a part of everything and anything. And just going back, touching base on the event a little bit. So I just working closely with the at-risk children and the families. I do know that we've seen a lot of social anxiety happen, a lot of disconnect, and that's why we want to have this event. So that we could, like I said, have a fun-filled day, bring them all together. And I know with, not to get political, but I know that there's been a lot of hatred going on in the world. And we just want to kind of show everybody that, you know, we're here for them and whatever they need. And especially with law enforcement, our public safety, a lot of people differ from them. We just want to bring them out and show the kids and show families that you don't need to be afraid. So.
Thank you. I completely agree with that. I think I'm not saying that in some areas of our country, law enforcement needs to change or look at a different way of the way they handle different situations. But I have to say with here in the Valley, I think we have a really great police force, whether it's the city police, the sheriff's department, or the state police, and of course our pueblos. And I think we just need to reinstill that trust to people because we have been home watching a lot of TV, a lot of news, and you know, there's a saying, if you want to sleep good at night, don't watch the news before you go to bed. Put on some Looney Tunes or something else, because you won't sleep if you're always watching the news. You really won't. Too much to worry about, but we do need to bring that trust, especially to kids. Kids need to know that law enforcement, fire department are very important people that they can go to and trust if they need them. And we need to build that up. And you're a good olive branch to be able to do that between the two. So I really encourage you to do if you're able to do more events like this or in different type of events that you may think of, I think it's very important to do it. This whole year of being stuck at home has really been hard on people's with their psyche and how they're having to come back out. Some are even afraid to even come outside their doors. And we tell people, come back out, come back and don't just exist. It's time to live again, don't just exist. And I think you can help with that.
Yeah,
especially with-
and that's the purpose of this event, is to go back to somewhat of a normal. I know that it's not ever going to be normal again because of being afraid and different views, but we want to bring the community together, and this is going to be a youth-driven event. We're even thinking of getting some youth performances. We're even reaching out to surrounding pueblos. We're even reaching out all the way to Santa Fe to get Santa Fe down here and Los Alamos and Taos as well. So it's going to be a big event. So if all of you could come out and show your face and help out and be there, definitely mean a lot.
Great. Counselor Salazar, Mayor Pro Tem, anything?
Nothing at this time. Thank you, sir.
Okay, anything else, Counselor Martinez? Oh, Counselor Valdez?
It just is a great idea, and I'm the principal at Velarde Elementary, and our students there have benefited from Project Race and the backpacks. So I love your program, and thank you very much for continuing it.
You're
All
welcome.
right,
Thank
that's
you.
good to hear.
I do remember we did go to Velarde School to go donate some backpacks. So yeah, so the remaining backpacks, even this year, if we have leftovers, definitely we will do that again and go to different schools. Maybe kids weren't able to make it or something, and we'll go and donate again.
Is there an age limit on kids, or just from K through 12 or
So
pre-K
the-
through 12?
In
or
order to get the backpacks with supplies, it's going to be K through 12.
K through 12
But the event is for everybody and anybody.
to come and join up?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, counselors? Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
You too. Do we have anyone else signed up for public comment?
That's it.
That's it. Okay, counselors, you have the Community Services Committee meeting from April 19th. We have approval for the committee minutes. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the April 19th committee meeting minutes.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor of approving the committee minutes for April 19th, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone against, same sign? Okay, motion moves. Okay, do we have any comments from the committee members? Councilor Martinez.
Thank you, my fellow committee members, for being present. I know it's Mondays, it's hard to get rolling sometimes, so we appreciate everybody's presence. First of all, I wanted to touch base on the possibility of the idea that we had talked about previously on that summer recreation in the parks, where we would take games and stuff to our parks during the summer. We haven't really touched base with that at all, and I'd really like to see something like that happen, where we have a van or something that goes into Ranchitos one day, comes into Valdez, comes over to this park, and then possibly a way to get students from all the other areas in our community delivered to that park so that they could have a fun time out there, organized recreation. I really feel like it's important, like Ms. Justine spoke about, concerning our children being cooped up in their homes, driving their parents thingy for sure. I really feel like it's important for them to get out and breathe some fresh air and get some exercise and just be out there and start getting active instead of sitting on the couch too much. So that's something that I like to see come up. The other thing that I had thought about is, I think maybe this committee could sponsor or push forward for the city of Espanola to sponsor a job fair in our community. Because I really feel like there's a lot of people that are disconnected from getting back to work and not having not knowing what jobs are available. And I really feel like it'll help people to there again, just come off the couch and come out of their homes and possibly get reconnected. I know the hospital is having an issue with keeping employees because other entities are paying more and they're taking some employees from the hospital. So I really feel like it's important to provide people with that connection mechanism through possibly having the city do a job fair or two, like sort of soon, maybe one in July and then one in September or something. And then the other thing that I had been wanting to discuss with my fellow committee members was that NDI New Mexico has been an incredible asset to the city's children and the surrounding area. They provided dance for many, many, many years. My daughter was lucky enough to be involved in the program for many years, even though she was homeschooled. But I really feel like we should do something to recognize that entity because they've been in all the schools in our local area year after year, year after year. And I feel like it's time that we do something for them in recognition for all that they've done here. So I'd like to see that come. And other than that, just say that I'm excited to see the baseball fields rolling and cars in the parks here and Industrial Road. And it's exciting. There's 10 different little T-ball teams. And if you guys get a chance, drive on up to the park up here in Industrial Road. They're the cutest thing you've ever seen. They're just adorable. And that park is so beautiful. But I do have a question concerning the bathrooms being open during game time. And also if we could possibly think about getting a contract with some kind of person that does like hot dogs and stuff like that, so that they have an opportunity to have a little business up there because there's nothing there. I mean, there's a beautiful concession stand and we don't have any concession going on. Yeah. So those are just things that are on my mind. I'm hopeful that we can affect and attack some of these things. Thank you guys.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Martinez. Going back how you mentioned about nightmares after the news, I kind of decided to do that, to take that up, and I was watching the Roadrunner and Coyote, and I went to sleep with more nightmares after that. So, so I just switched to Pepe Le Pew, but no, just kidding. But in all reality, I did want to discuss a couple of issues. This past Friday, City Manager Martinez and myself went to the Valdez Park. They had the rededication ceremony for Vanessa's Hideaway and ribbon cutting. I think it was a great event, and I think it's very important, that this was done in remembrance of Vanessa Valerio. She was a young child that was killed at 9 years old by gunfire. I know her family pretty well. In fact, I'm good friends with Vanessa Valerio's brother, Richard Valerio. And again, I think it was a great ceremony, and I think we need to continue to do ceremonies like this to remember people that have left an impact in our community. It's a very sad time, but at the same time, in talking with Annette Valerio, the mother, how does one get through this? To lose a child, especially so young, she picking up her daughter, coming home from school, walking in on an intruder, and and just in an instant. So I truly admire Miss Valerio's strength and to be able to move forward and setting a great example to many other people, because we all live through heartaches, and a lot of the times we don't know how we're going to get through it from 1 minute to the next hour to the next day. So it was just something that was a real eye opener for me. So I was real appreciative of that. Also, after that, I I went to go visit I made a visit to the library and the Lucero Center staff, but the time that I went, it was at 12:30, so they were closed at that time for the lunch break. I think they reopened at 1 o'clock, so unfortunately, I wasn't able to visit with them, but I do plan to go in the near future. I do promise that, so I would just like to visit with library staff, with our Lucero Center staff, and then just get some feedback from you guys and just, see how everything is. And then, of course, lend my support as well. Also going back to Vanessa Valerio's, the Vanessa's Hideaway, I'd just like to thank our city staff, our park staff, our city leadership for helping to make this happen. Representative Susan Herrera helped secure funding to make this happen. And of course, Del Norte Credit Union is a co-sponsor of Valdez Park. So of course, all their efforts that they made as well for this, they were in attendance as well as Representative Susan Herrera. Next issue or question I do have is, I'm not sure if anybody knows, but what time do the lights go out at Valdez Park? Does anybody know by chance?
Mayor Pro Tem Dennis Tim Salazar, are you referring to for the ball fields or the general?
Yeah, just pretty much for the ball fields and where they play volleyball, just that whole area where, where the lights are on.
Okay, so I believe that they stay on through the night.
Okay.
I'll check with Mr. Jeff Sargent on that.
Okay.
But that was one of the requests. They wanted that park illuminated to, deter vandalism and issues like that. But I'll confirm with Mr. Jeff Sargent on those lights that what the time on that.
Okay, City Manager Martinez, is it officially supposed to close to the public at 10 o'clock? Is that correct?
So the signs are posted throughout the park at 10 o'clock. I know that sometimes the Little League would go past that, maybe sometimes until 11, whether the games would go on, but the signs do post throughout all our parks that they close at 10.
Okay. Reason I do ask is that explains the lights, because I was, I'm rarely out past dark, but on a Sunday night, actually, something came up that I had to leave and happened to be passing by there, and it was about 10:45-ish and the lights were on. So then I took a drive by there just to kind of, see, and then I noticed people were playing volleyball at that time, but they were pretty much finishing up. But also at the same time, police were there, and I guess they were kind of ushering people out. So I thought that was a great thing as well, just to kind of ensure safety, especially at a time like that. So I was just curious about that. I think that's all I have right now. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilor Valdez?
Yes, I just want to piggyback on what Counselor Peggy Sue Martinez said about having a recreation at the parks. I know that the students are stir crazy, or were stir crazy. The Espanola Public Schools offered a summer program for 3 weeks, and the enrollment was at Velarde. Other schools, I'm not sure, but it was relatively low compared to previous years. And it was because parents thought that the students, their children had too much online education or schooling. So it was not very successful in enrollment wise, the numbers. So I think they are ready for something fun. And I know that the county for the 6th graders puts on, I can't remember what it's called, 6-pack, and they get the fire department to come, and the students always say that's their favorite part. The fire trucks wet them with the hoses. And so maybe our fire department can help with that recreation and do something like that for the students, something fun, because they are tired of education for now. They've had it. So yes, and NDI has been a positive force for years in our school district. They teach them nutrition, physical education, and discipline. They have like 500 students at those presentations, and their behavior is excellent. You could not believe that there was 500 students in that location, because they're their behavior is just perfect. So we should do something for NDI and even for moving people, Roger Montoya, because he has been very active too in the community with our children and students. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, a matter from the chair, you guys kind of stole my thunder because I've been, that's all right. 'Cause it just means we're all on the same page, which is, please go. Yes, ma'am.
So my name is Rachel Valencia, and I wanted to comment on, Ms. Valdez, regarding, like events and stuff like that. I'm a single parent, and what I find really hard, I don't have access to get my kids to and from. I would love to send my kids to programs and recreational stuff. So number one, the barriers that I see, this is myself, and I think I speak for like a lot of parents. Number one, single parents don't have way to transportation for them, and safe transportation, you know, to and from the home. And because some of those programs go on like at 1 or 2 in the day, that's the middle of my day. I can't get there. So, you know, there's a disadvantage for kids like mine that can't get there. My sister, my nieces, my mom, my dad, all of us work. So I have no access to get them there. Second, fees. Fees are outrageous. Like, for instance, I was gonna put my kids in the Boys and Girls Club. It was $900 for each kid, so that's $1,800 for me, out of pocket. It's all based off of my income, but if you take my income and you minus out everything I have to pay, which is just regular housing, you know, utilities, and just food on my table, I'm barely left enough to, you know, buy them their clothing and so forth. So I can't pay $200 out for 7 weeks. So those are the two barriers that I see with myself and my kids, that I would love to put them in programs. I can get them there. I can, even with the schools right now, they will call me the day of, oh, your child has a science project, they need this and that. I'm a working parent. I'm sorry, I could stay home and collect unemployment. So you guys gotta, you know, communication has to be like straight up, you know, and some of the programs come out and I play them at a later time. So maybe doing more advertisement ahead of time. So it's not like I can save up enough money to, you know, put them into those kind of programs would be helpful. That's why those are the various rights. As far as maybe enrollment into different programs. So I, you know, I would, you know, would hope you guys would consider maybe like an evening thing or like a Saturday thing or something like that. If like parents like me, I don't have access to get them there.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Last year, I know Miss Dora Terrazas and Miss Gabriela Silva had a movie that at the senior center, and it was free of charge. And they even gave free macaroni and cheese,
Popcorn.
popcorn. And for $5, you got a hot dog, cotton candy, snow cone, I mean, a lot of things. And if you guys would consider doing that maybe again. And the program I was talking about, the 21st Century 3-week program, it was free of charge, and we had transportation, breakfast and lunch, and the recreation in the parks would also be free. But that's a great idea to have them later for the working parents. I was going to suggest maybe we could provide transportation, but I don't know, that's a big liability. But in the afternoons, and it would be fresher too, because it's so hot in the middle of the day. But I really appreciate your comments. Thank you.
I'll yield to the city manager, and you don't have anything? So maybe Counselor Dennis Salazar might be able to talk to RTD and see if there's a possibility of getting some help with transporting the kids, especially in situations like yours. I personally was raised by a single mother. I totally understand where you're coming from. And I so much appreciate you sitting there and providing immediate feedback to us. It's so important that we understand that these are the kids that we need to help. These are the kids that need a program like this, a rec program. So maybe Counselor Salazar, and I'm sure in listening to her, I know that Dennis had his children in the Boys and Girls
Mhm.
Club, and it was very expensive. I know
Yeah.
it wasn't cheap. It was a sacrifice for even you guys to get your kids over there. So can you imagine for a single parent to have that same kind of stress? It has to be very difficult. And these are the reasons that these programs are so important, and your feedback is so critical to this committee. So thank you.
Mr.
you.
Chair, if I may,
right
Councilor
ahead.
Martinez, yes, I definitely would be happy to discuss this with the NCRTD and look for possible options. I think that would be a great thing if it could happen. I think that would be huge.
We also could talk with the Espanola Public School Board and see if they're interested in partnering. Rio Riba, I know we have a connection directly to Rio Riba these days, so possibly also collaborating with them, and maybe even possibly bringing Santa Fe County in the loop in on this initiative. I really feel like this is something that's important. They might be interested.
I think if we were to speak to them and especially, or not just Santa Fe County, but even other businesses to collaborate with us financially so that this could be programs that are free to children to
Yeah.
come out in. I mean, if there would be ever a fee, it'd be very minimal, if at all, but a free would be the ultimate goal if we could get Santa Fe County and businesses to say, okay, we're gonna have these many weeks of recreational programming
Right.
for kids in our valley, and if we can bring it for free, that would be the best thing that we can do.
The other thing that I had thought about is dealing with a parent like we just heard from, the possibility of having a movie night where you would have drop-in like at the library. And that would give a parent an opportunity to take a break from their kids, drop them off in a safe environment, show them a movie. Even if you do like a pajama movie night at the library or whatever, just have them drop off. Can't be picked up without proper ID, make sure it's all safe. And just drop your kids off for 3 or 4 hours, drop them off at 6, come back at 10, go to dinner with your friends, or go to a movie on your own without having your kids all the time. So I think those are all things that this committee really needs to jump on. And I know we're laying a lot on Mr. Jeremy over there, and welcome to the fire, brother.
I know that when my children were in high school and junior high, the city used to also have those foam dances for the older kids that they'd have them here at the Lucero Center. And those were free as well. I would just drop off my daughters and, come back and pick them up a couple of hours later. I mean, those were a lot of fun for them as well. So maybe
I
there's,
think that's the key to having our children out of trouble and out of harm's way, is to keep them active and fun, positive stuff, engaging with each other and just having and enjoying our community. There's so much here,
yes, I completely agree.
Mr. Chair, I think you used to drop off your brother Brian and his friend Dennis as well.
I didn't want to go that far back then.
Oh, that was low.
Sorry, sir.
That's just because he used to go play with my brothers since they were in elementary school.
Oh, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard in a meeting. In 9 whole years, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. That too, or you just made it up?
It's true.
He took us everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It was my brother and the 2 Dennises, because there's 2, him, Dennis, and Dennis Chavez. Yeah, wow. Now I really feel old. I thought I felt old before. My true age, yeah. Yes. And a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. I know I'll let the city manager bring this up a little bit later, but on the community services. But we do have a event coming up on the 17th. And so I did ask him to give us a little bit of information on it. But we'll go ahead and wait for him to do that during his speaks on Community Services Department overview. I think that's a good time to bring that up. And we can also talk some, there's other parts of that event that other ideas might come up as well that maybe we can do as well to make it a bigger event. So let's go ahead and go on to recommendations to full council. The OG Veterans Organization for co-sponsorship requesting the use of Valdez Park on August 14, 2021 from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. for a car show event. And who do we have today? Please come right up now. And Mrs. Maestas, please state your name at the podium for,
I'm sorry, she was not able
She
to
was
make
not-
it, so I'm here in her place.
you're here in her place.
So my name is Jeanette Quintana, and I'm a part of the OG Veteranas. And this will be our fourth annual get together for the community. It's usually in April, so it's an Easter egg hunt and all that good stuff for the kids. But since you know how crazy everything's been, we're still gonna do an Easter egg hunt because there's prizes and stuff for all the children, and there's gonna be a concert, DJ, car show / community gathering for the youth of the valley. And we were hoping to get the park for the 14th.
Motion to approve,
Yep.
sir?
Do I have a
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Do we have any comments or questions?
Just under comments, thank you and your group for putting this together. I've attended and I've always enjoyed it, and I think it's really
Yes.
special. So thank you guys for doing this event.
Okay, and we will use the dirt part of the
Commendable.
Lucero Center for the cars and stuff, so they're not on the grass.
Okay. And there's no other events or baseball going on that particular time? Sir?
Mr. Chair, members of the Community Services Committee, so I believe that the Little League will end mid-July.
Mid-July.
Okay.
You mentioned concert and music as well.
Yes.
Do you set up a stage or?
You know what, that I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's part of it's just a DJ, and then there's a band, a local band, I believe is what it is. So I'm sure they'll have something for the stage.
Okay. And we do have power like that for them at that area, sir?
So the power that's located at Valdez Park runs along the north side of the park by along Veterans Memorial Highway. And there is also a power at the big canopy in the center of the park as well.
Okay.
Yes, that I had checked into, and they do have some power in that area.
Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chair, if I may, I'd just like to echo Councilor Martinez's comments. Thank you all for
Yes.
your hard work to this,
Okay.
and look forward to it.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Well, we have a motion on the floor and a second. All those in favor of moving the OG Veterans Organization for co-sponsorship to full council, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay, moves on to full council. On the back to school supply, I believe the number 2 has been taken off the table, sir. Is that correct?
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, so I spoke with Mr. Ralph Martinez for lunch today on another matter. And the topic of the next item on the agenda was discussed. Initially, Mr. Martinez had requested the 17th or 18th of July at Valdez Park for the school and supply giveaway. Then there was a change to maybe the weekend of the 25th, which would be the following weekend. But after talking with him, they decided they wanted to pull this item off the agenda and proceed with their plan A as far as location, and they wanted to proceed. They're waiting for Century Bank to confirm the location. I guess they wanted to have it in a more localized and more visual location. So they're considering relocating and having this at the Century Bank parking lot.
Thank you, sir. Go right ahead, ma'am.
During this item on our agenda, when I saw it, I was a little confused as to, is this our project race deal? Is it a collaboration effort? There wasn't a whole lot of information on this except for that it did say Ralph Martinez, so I figured it was another deal. But in the future, I'd really like to see us engage with people that want to volunteer and help our community help with the events that we have on an annual basis and come on board, collaborate with us. Because I feel like when you have two different events, especially when they're this close together, it confuses the public for one, and for two, you nickel and dime the business community to death because we're all in the same fishbowl. And when we move in a direction and we ask an entity for help, that entity can bless us and help us, but then they can't bless the next person and the next person. So we need to understand that we're all in this together and we need to work together. So I think this kind of a situation would have probably been best if we had all collaborated together. That's my thought on that. Thank you.
No, I completely agree with you, Councilor Martinez. It helps our resources that we're getting to put them in the right place. And this way we make sure that the majority, in this case, the majority of students are getting backpacks and instead of maybe one student getting two, because they might go to two different events just to get two. Thank you. Well, we'll go ahead and move on to department reports. Up first is the NNMRAC reports and update. Ms. Silva.
Thank you. This is my first time out here. Mayor Pro Tem Dennis Salazar and all the counselors, city manager, Laura, and everyone else, thank you for letting me go over this, I guess, in person, because this is my first time to actually be out here in person. So I just want to go over some of the things that we've done. Of course, we are opening up the Mission and the gallery as well. So we do have people coming through, so which is really nice. We are still trying to enforce the 6 feet of distance, when people do come in, because, we do have a business in the gallery. We want to make sure that people still remember that, we can still enforce that. I'm not wearing my mask because I am vaccinated. So I'm okay, but I'm not going to be the COVID police and check everyone on the outside of our facility, but when we're inside, we still take temperatures, we get information, we ask them where they're going, where they're from, because it's important, like I think I had mentioned before, in our small communities, to make sure that we know where everybody comes from and we can keep track of, anyone that might, because of what happened with COVID. I think it's important for us to understand where everyone's going, where they're coming, if we lose visitors, being part of the visitor center as well. So we did do the Juneteenth this weekend, which was a really great event. Thank you for coming, and the mayor as well for reading the proclamation of Juneteenth for Espanola, which was a really great event. Of course, I get anxiety making sure that everything is perfect for the event. It went really well. Everything was free. We had a few, the Chamber of Commerce also had businesses that wanted to come out, but I did ask them to make sure that everything was given away. We weren't going to charge for anything. We wanted the community to come out and enjoy it. And I know it was, Father's Day weekend, so people did show up. So I think it went really well. The food was delicious. We collaborated with the senior center to cook our food for us. And I brought, some of the things, and of course my, recipes and how to cook things, but Frankie doesn't need any help. He does a great job. He doesn't, Dora, they did a great job making we had green chili cornbread. They made the yellow rice. We had some wonderful things for everybody to enjoy. It was a great event. At the balloons, of course, that was the one thing that didn't happen. That's okay. Everybody had the books, and it was just very well, I think, enjoyed by everyone that went. So we're really excited about that. So thank you for the city for allowing us to host that and open up to the community. I'm really glad we were able to do that, because I think it was our first time to open the doors to everyone to come out. And I think we had at least 100 people that were there, or more than 100 people that came. So it was a really good event. What do you, I think I didn't keep count, but I think that's what it was. We had Dr. Bailey, we had even the Rio Grande Sun. I can't believe that Mr. Trapp was actually there. I was very impressed that he was taking pictures of everybody. So it was a good thing. So to move on with the gallery, the gift shop, the visitor center, and the Bond House Museum, we still have David Culbertson in the Convento Gallery 1, because we've split the gallery into 2. So we're doing slow openings where we do like a 2-day Friday, Saturday opening where people it gives them enough time to actually come and see the shows that we have there. Before, we were doing a month show and didn't give people enough time to come and view what we have there. So we want to support those artists that we do have in the gallery. Then we move them out into the other galleries and out into the consignment gallery. We have others that are coming up. David Ridley will be an abstract painter coming up in the gallery. I want to just let you guys know that compared to last year, we do have the visitors that have come from May through June. As of, it would have been, the count I did last week was like 236 people that came through the visitor center. And that's from all over the country and even the world, because we get people that are either were stuck in the United States and they just want to stay here. And so everyone that has come has really loved Espanola. They want to stay here. They want to know where to go, where can we hang out, or their car broke down and they're having it repaired. So they've been walking around the downtown area. It's been really nice and exciting to tell people where to go. It seems like this year people want to stay here and a few days and not just kind of come through and get water and have coffee. They want to know about Espanola, what people did here, what they've done. It's been a different experience this year. So I'm excited to, you know, train our people that we have in the visitors center to actually inform the visitors that come through to go into the museum, maybe the Bond House. Now the Bond House has been another thing. We haven't set up anything up there yet because it's such a small space. There's always been, you know, the collections that we had before COVID started, and then people didn't really get a chance to see the Mark Winter. I think my 3 minutes are almost up, right? Anyways. Another timing me over there. And our sales in the gallery, though, just for May, we did like over $1,200, which is really good compared to zero last year. So it's really been a good year. Just right now, from the last couple of weeks, I just added everything up and we had over $600 in the last few weeks. So it's been really good, you know, people coming through. Thank you. I mean, because every person that comes in there will either give us a donation into the box or give us something else that, you know, helps us out a lot. So to move on with that, I think, and also if people do want to see the Bond House, just so you know, we do take them up there on a tour, but they have to call ahead of time. And then I could schedule a tour for them to go up there and they can just kind of see what's there. We don't have an exhibition going on in the rooms themselves because we're working on trying to see what we're going to do with the collections that are there. So I don't really want to, you know, get into that unless I know exactly what we can show for that's the City of Espanola's collections. Yes, sir.
On the Bond House, so right now, if somebody wants to go in and see the Bond House, do they go to you and then you go up and unlock the door, or is there somebody there?
We don't have anybody there because last year when COVID started, we had somebody, Rosalie, in fact, that we have right now. She's an expert in the folk art. That's where she used to work. And so she was up at the Bond House, but then COVID started and she left because and I have her back now, but we can't have somebody just sit there and man it and nobody really goes up there. So we don't have an exhibition up there as well. We do have some collections that we can actually pull out. And I think now that we have a little bit more time, we can actually go through some of the things that belong to the City of Espanola that we can showcase in there. I'm not sure about the Historic Society's collections, what they have. So I think we have to kind of go through some of those things and see what we can actually put up for others to come and see, because people do want to see what is Espanola. So we're, you know, I'm thinking of some things that maybe are part of the people that live in Espanola that have been here for many years, that we can create collections that are about them and their families and just kind of show that. Because that's always really, you know, what I see the Bond House as. Yes.
Councilor Martinez?
No, I'm thinking about, I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm thinking about the art show that you guys put on and how maybe it would be really cool to put like the exhibition the night before or the judging the night before and have like a wine and cheese kind of event at
the Bond House.
Yeah, do something like that. I think that would be a really cool thing to do and collaborate with the art
The art festival?
festival. Yeah.
That would be,
Oh, definitely.
we could collaborate. with
And I
that.
just want to say one thing, Gabriela, everywhere you are, you're just doing amazing work for our community. We could not be more blessed by you being down there. I mean, we get so much more than what you're paid to do down there. I want you to know that you're the face of our community. You're the voice of our community. There's so many people that come and you're just ridiculously awesome. I mean, everywhere you are, there's just a peace. You're a person that is able to bring a lot of people together and collaborate in willingness. That's a very special gift. And I just so much appreciate what you do.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, with all your support as well.
You do a fantastic job. I do have a little story for you. Some of my relatives that live up in Santa Fe apparently came down to the bond and so went to the bond house, and they were showing the rest of the family a picture. You apparently have my great uncle's lunchbox. It even has his name on the
Really?
lunchbox.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
So they were like, "How did Uncle Savino's lunchbox
Oh,
get
wow,
here?"
that's so cool.
And-
Wow.
Which would be my mother's
Brother.
my mother's uncle.
Uncle.
My mother's uncle. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So that was
beautiful.
amazing. I was like, I haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to go up there and go check it
Yeah, I
out.
could check it out.
Yeah, we have to go through some of those and pull some more of those things out and know exactly. I think putting the name of the person on those items is really important because I hear those stories all the time where someone connects to the pieces that are there. Like that was my uncle's, he used to plow the land with that or, with the hoe or whatever. So those are important stories. If I'm not from here and I hear those stories, it really touches my heart. When I go places and I see things that belong to people, whether I know them or not, I feel for them and those families because it's very valuable. Those are very valuable stories that we can connect with the communities that way. So thank you for sharing that. So I will move on to the Education Center on the Academy of Arts virtually. We are still doing some virtually online. And so of course, because we recorded most of our classes on Zoom, we can still share them with people all over the world. And so when people do come and visit, and some of our visitors that have come that have bought some of the things that we have in the gallery, they have actually, you see Deborah Steinman in there, of course, they bought her basket. And I'm like, oh, you can actually take one of our classes. So we can sell them the material and the classes are always free. The music classes are always free. So people have instruments, so we can still connect them. The music class that we have with David, that is on like a 2-week break right now. And so they'll start up again. So that is something I know what people were saying, that it's hard for them to get their kids to and from activities that go on in the city. And that is a problem. I mean, I know with us being where we're at, it's hard for parents to get their kids to our after school programs. It seems like now for some reason, of course, we all know COVID allowed everyone to be at home and do things after school. So we acquired more people to do a variety of different things. We did quilting, we did pottery, we did basket weaving, music, everything you could imagine. I mean, that went along with those times. So we are planning the Field Trip Fridays. And so I think we had talked about, and I think this is something that everybody relates to, being at home with children locked up and, they can't find anything to do. When I had thought, we can collaborate with someone else with the city, and we are collaborating with Dora at the Senior Center. So we can actually we offered seniors and kids and people, anyone, because we put it in the newspaper. So we offered Field Trip Fridays for a minimal amount. And so it was first come, first serve, 30 people. It was the max that we could do. They can go to, we're doing Meow Wolf. We're going to do the Toltec train. Another one we're doing will be the Ghost Ranch. I already got that for us as well. So it's just the minimal fee. And if they can't afford it, one thing we do, people can't afford it. We also have our scholarship fund. So all the donations that come into us will go into those funds. And that would pay for the single parent that can't really afford to pay for that. And like I always tell the girls, if people can't afford it, it doesn't matter. We don't ask for that money and we're not going to make a big deal. And that always seems to work for us. It's the best way to do it. And there's so many people, we had like 17 calls of parents that called me the first day the ad went in the paper. I've never had so many people call to have their kids sign up for the Field Trip Fridays. And we're going to add things in there. Like when we do the Ghost Ranch, I'm actually going to provide sketchbooks so that they can draw when they're down there. So we're going to also include art projects in the field trips we're taking. Of course, Meow Wolf is one that everybody wants to go to that. So we have that for the 9th. And I think we're booked completely. And the seniors, of course, are really excited about going to that, because one thing the seniors have done for our arts program, they're the ones that actually bring their kids to our program. So I had mentioned it to Ms. Terrazas that we have to offer this to our seniors because they're the ones that always bring their children to our programs. And if it wasn't for those grandparents, we wouldn't have those kids in our programs. So every time we have kids, somebody signs up their kids, it's always the grandparent that brings them. So for us, it's very important to put them together and do field trips together. So it's going to be seniors with kids or their grandparents are going on and anyone else is invited as well. And, you're always welcome to come. So we do have that coming up. And then we have Kathy Bennett also coming up to do the cold wax painting. She'll be here for 2 weeks. She ended up moving. Her mother passed away, so she had to move to Arizona. And I think that's it I covered. I don't have my glasses, so I can't really read what I wrote. The other thing, we are going to work with we're doing the Ultimate Visitors Guide. So that actually goes in the back. We ended up getting the back page of the Ultimate Guide, which is a great thing for us because I think it's a great guide. It tells everyone where to go all over Rio River County. I really love that one as well. And I think we had talked about, Mr. Martinez had talked about the city manager about the Land Water People Time reaching out to us, and we can actually help them put some things in that magazine as well. I think that'll be great. That's one of the magazines that we give out to every person that comes to the visitor center. It has amazing information about Española. It has pictures of the lowriders, shops around Española. It's a wonderful magazine. It's my favorite. And that's about it. And then we'll be having about the rentals, I think that I had put Dora in there because the rentals, I mean, she's the one that usually puts it on the calendar. So I just go by whatever it's added to my list. And for our events, it's usually, you guys usually know whatever we're going to do ahead of time. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions or comments?
Excuse me. I want to go on a field trip Friday.
I know it sounds like fun, huh? All right, next is a Community Service Department overview. City Manager Martinez.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Community Services Committee. First, I want to take a little bit of time and just give everybody the committee a little background in regards to our Community Services Director. So on June 11th, Mr. Scott Frost submitted his resignation. That was his last day with the city. We were a little bit proactive and we advertised as soon as Mr. Frost submitted his letter of resignation, which was about 3 weeks prior. HR and advertised for this position, and we conducted interviews on June 10th, which is the day before Mr. Frost's last day. We conducted interviews and we selected the top 4 candidates from that committee. We conducted interviews, and lo and behold, I'd like to say that the panel selected unanimously on the choice that we made for the next Community Services Director. And I'd like to take this moment to introduce Mr. Jeremy Maestas, currently with Rio Riva County as a recreations supervisor or a director for the county. Mr. Maestas comes with us with a plethora of experience with seniors. He did sponsor and coordinate with the Senior Olympics, so a lot of interaction with the seniors with our senior center. At the county, he oversaw all the parks and the play structures throughout the county, not just in Chimayo and Española, but up north, and also oversaw the facility of the swimming pool at Tierra Maria. So he's very familiar with all the aspects that the city provides here as well. Mr. Maestas also comes with us with a CDL, to drive the senior, to assist in that manner. And at this time, if Mr. Maestas, I will yield the floor to you if you want to say a few words to the committee. I did invite him to the committee tonight just so he can kind of get a feel of what to expect, and hopefully we don't overwhelm him at this first committee before he even starts his first day at work. But Mr. Maestas is scheduled to start work with the city next Monday, which would be June 28th. And Mr. Maestas, your floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm really excited to be here. My agenda is already full. I was sitting over there writing down all these dates of all these events that are going on. So my agenda is pretty full at this point, but I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited to be working for the city and to be hearing all these ideas and things that the committee and the city council and the mayor want. And so I'm up for the challenge and I'm ready to help in whatever aspect I can with my connections with the county, with the school district, whatever we can do. I'm here and ready to help. So thank you.
Any questions or any comments, anybody at this point? Or
Welcome, and we look forward to working with you, Ms. Mesa.
Thank you, Mr. Meneses. I will proceed on giving an overview on with community services.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair, you had mentioned about an event on the July 17th that we're coordinating with the city, also with Rio Arriba County and the Pueblo of Santa Clara. Right now, we're waiting to hear from Santa Fe County, from Commissioner Roybal, but fireworks display, they'll be held, it's going to be July 17th, that's a Saturday. Unfortunately, we kind of got a little bit late into the game, so that's why the event is so far into the month, but we're coordinating with Gemini Fireworks out of Albuquerque. And the fireworks display is going to be held, or I guess ground zero or the blast site, I guess, if you will, is going to be on that open field between the Carlos Vigil Middle School football field and the city softball fields. There's a huge 7-acre empty lot field there that would be good. We're coordinating with our fire department, and Chief Padilla is also coordinating with Santa Clara Fire Department and the volunteers on the surrounding area to make sure that we have a safe and awesome fireworks display for that. We're also coordinating with our city police and our streets department to facilitate coordinated effort to maintain the safety of all the people that want to view this fireworks. So I believe that the plan is to close off Industrial Park completely at the intersection with Paseo de Oñate. And facilitate that way, I think the clear zone is going to encumber about 300 feet, 360 degrees. So that's going to encumber like the judicial area and in that complex. So we're also coordinating with the county to maybe allow a VIP area for individuals to drive up to the county complex to park there and view the fireworks there for as VIP, maybe issue out some tickets and they can pass the checkpoint or the roadblock to allow it and enter that area in a very controlled and safe manner. We're also going to coordinate with the local businesses around that area, the Norte Credit Union, the Speedway, and the gas stations there to make sure that they're aware of this event, and I'm sure that their parking lots are going to be a very choice location to view these parks. We're also going to have the Valdez Park and all the city parks available for people to sit up with the blankets and see, because I believe anybody and everybody will be able to see the fireworks from that area and being in the valley. Absolutely. And like I say, we're coordinating with Commissioner Tini Bustos. She's doing dual roles with the county and then with Downtown Action Team to help facilitate. We reached out to them because of their experience coordinating with the Electric Light Parade for years and years. So they're coordinating with us to promote and advertise for this. We're going to reach out and put maybe an ad in the paper this week to facilitate that and get that going. And Mr. Chair, I'll yield the floor to you in regards to additional items that you might want to add to this.
Thank you, sir. Yes, also after speaking with the mayor, we're also looking at entertainment going on the plaza as well throughout, maybe not throughout the whole day, but in the evening, moving up to the actual time of the fireworks display. Right now, we do have, as far as local entertainment, the Blue Ventures have signed on saying that they are available to play that evening. So they may, of course, be playing right before the fireworks display actually goes on. I believe somewhere to the tune of like from 6 to like 8:30 or something like that. So we're moving backwards from that time frame. So it's to try and at least have some entertainment within the plaza, like maybe from either noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, gearing up to that evening, and trying to see if we can coordinate also some food trucks to just go along the plaza, maybe some, and of course it's all free. Nobody has to pay any type of fees to go there and put a booth or anything like that. It's just a matter of wanting people to come out and enjoy the day and saying, hey, let's celebrate, we're out, we're open, we're alive, let's have some fun. And then gearing up to, of course, the fireworks display in the evening. So that's kind of what we're looking at doing. So just kind of an overview. Nothing's really, the only one I know that's completely confirmed is the Blue Venture. So that's the one I'm going to mention for right now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'll go ahead and add to that. I know that everybody has been concerned with the executive order that Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham had passed in regards to fireworks. So city events like this are exempt. So like if Albuquerque or any of the any local municipality or organizations want to set up fireworks, they're exempt from this. So we're fully on board with this and following the latest and greatest on the news from the state to make sure that we're in compliance and like say the safe event. And, I got to give a lot of credit to Chief Padilla to, he took this and spearheaded this project and coordinated to make sure that the event is absolutely the safest possible for our city.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from any of the counselors or Mayor Pro Tem?
Nothing at this
On the-
I have one question.
Yes, go ahead, Council Martinez.
I know that when we spoke of this, it was supposed to come back to full council because we were unsure of the funding, or we were talking about paying off that loan and then taking that 30,000 from the payoff. So do you know what line item this is going to come out of? And do you know the total amount that Gemini is going to charge?
So great question, Councilor Martinez and members of the committee. So, we needed to determine really quick with Gemini as to how this, so we determined that we were gonna budget for 30,000 that would be coming from the lodgers tax fund. And then the contributions from other entities, we would use that to, I guess, fill the void on any of the aspects of advertisement and anything like that. So the Rio River County is going to contribute $5,000. Santa Clara Pueblo is going to contribute 2,500. Right now, as Commissioner Bustos had as a matter of fact, just as of today, had not heard anything from Santa Fe County or Commissioner Roybal in regards to their contribution. We had initially had some other organizations that started off, but with the whatever issues they decided they couldn't help facilitating or contribute to that. So right now, that's where we're standing right now.
Great. So as it looks, the city will be into it for about 22.5.
That's correct. And plus a little, any other expenses to advertise with putting, ads in the paper and in that sense.
And there is money in your budget for advertisement, correct?
That's correct, Council.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
And we want to make sure that we pay all this through this year's budget. That way we're not eating up to next FY 22's budget.
Absolutely.
So if there's no more questions on that specific item, I'll continue with other items that I have. I want to go ahead and just echo with Mayor Pro Temp Dennis Tim Salazar and the ribbon cutting that happened this Friday. My apologies for the late notice. I know that I sent out the email asking for if you want to come out to participate on this. It was spearheaded by Del Norte Credit Union. And if all of you might know, Del Norte Credit Union had a busy day that day. So in the morning, they were at the plaza coordinating with Project Race to do their function. Then they raced down to Valdez Park to set up their canopy again at 11 for the ribbon cutting. And then from there, they went back down for the Juneteenth event that evening to set up their canopy again. So they were all over pretty busy that day, and the reason that we tried so hard to make it happen that specific day, because that was Vanessa's birthday, June 17th, or excuse me, June 18th. And she would have turned 37 on Friday. So that was what it was very crucial for us to coordinate to have the ribbon cutting that specific day. Yeah. Another good news that we're having, so we're looking to go out to a request for proposal, RFP, for phase 2 of Ranchitos Park here either this week or next. We're going to generate that, the RFP, have it reviewed by legal, and then hopefully advertise either the end of this week or the beginning of next week to start the phase 2 of the Ranchitos Park. And that's the renovation of the park area between the aquatic center and the baseball field. And so the plans are pretty good there. That's with our CDBG fund of 420,000. So that's a good thing coming forward. Also, I'd like to echo with Ms. Silva in regards to the Juneteenth. So it was a good success on Friday evening. There was a lot of turnout, a lot of positivity, and it was just so coincidental. It just happened how with President Biden signed it to make it an official holiday of that day. It was funny because I was getting emails, are we going to be off? Well, not quite. Maybe next year. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't want to take any thunder away from any of the committees that are going to be doing their presentation, but we're happy to say that Ranchitos Pool is fully open. It is open Tuesday through Saturday, and there is There is lap swim for anybody from 8 to 9 in the morning. So, you know, like I said, I just wanted to touch base on that. And Ms. Sandoval might want to have a little bit more details on that if she has. Also, I don't want to take some thunder away from Dora as well, but I believe that we're planning on opening up the senior center after the holiday, which is around July 6th, to include the senior gym. I know that I'll go to Walmart and seniors come up to me, Javier, when are you opening up? You know, so it's, they always come by, you know. Of course, you know, not everything that I report is all good news, right? A few weeks back, we had some vandalism where individuals went and cut the chain link fence at the park building there. They backed up a truck, hooked up to their 18-foot flatbed trailer and drove off on it and stole it. Right now, the PD is looking at our camera system to see if they can find a suspect on that. Right now, it's not, no luck yet. On the bond house, you know, I want to give credit to Mr. Jeff Sargent, the GSD department. A few weeks back, they do their weekly maintenance rounds throughout our facilities. Unfortunately, they found that the hot water heater had failed at the bond house and it flooded the basement with about 2 to 3 inches of water. They jumped on it really quick with wetbacks and picked up all the water. So right now we're looking into, you know, submitting an insurance claim to get that. We've made contact with the San Gabriel Historical Society to see what items they had down there that might have been damaged. So just an FYI on that. The next item I have, so we are coordinating with the Las Clínicas del Norte for another mobile vaccine, actually several. So the first one will be in June 23rd, 8 to 5 here at the Lucero Center parking lot. June 23rd from 8 to 5 at the Lucero Center parking lot, directly north of the Michael Jordan mural. The next one will be on a Saturday. I know that individuals have a hard time during their work hours to leave, but the next one will be Saturday, June 26th, the same hours, 8 to 5. And then the last one will be June 30th, 8 to 5 at the same location, Lucero Center. And they will be offering all 3 vaccines, the Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and the Pfizer. And so, and also they'll be having a rapid COVID test as well. So for anybody who wants to get that. And the last item I have is I confirmed with the Little League that the season will be ending mid-June. I know that they started a little bit late. So all functions, even the school sports, have started a little bit late. So it's like an accordion effect extending out to the summer. So hopefully the end of the season will end the 26th of this month, and the All-Stars and tournaments will begin in right around the end of July. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Salazar, I did confirm with Mr. Jeff Sargent that the lights at Valdez Park are on all night and they go off automatically at 6 a.m. every morning.
Okay, and that's again, just as a safety precaution, is that correct?
That's correct. And so I stand for any questions in regards to the community services.
I just wanted to clarify. You made the statement that food trucks or vendors, they don't have to purchase a vendor permit on that day?
Correct. We're just wanting to have people out there on the plaza. So right now, if they're willing to come out, then we'll just have more of an idea of the time frame as far as if they want to coordinate with when the entertainment is on the plaza, then they can coordinate at that time as well.
Okay, I think that's a really good and big deal that we should advertise. I think we would get a lot more vendors if they knew that they didn't have to purchase any licenses.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem, any
Nothing at this time. Thank you, sir.
Councilor Martinez?
Just happy to hear about some of the positive things happening and looking forward to all this energy and excitement coming to fruition. So I'm just excited about everything that I'm hearing, and it's making me like, this is probably the most excited I've been about things in the city in a long time. So I just feel like there's a lot of positive energy here, and I'd like to have that continue.
Thank you. I hear you the same now that they're saying, everything opening up the 1st of July, it kind of makes, it's like, wow, now it's endless what the possibilities of what we can do And I think we have to jump on that right away and create a formula that just flows from year to year to year and continue that momentum. So thank you, City Manager. Anything else for us, sir?
That's all I have, Mr. Chair. I just want to let you all know the item that you passed to go to full council will be on tomorrow's agenda.
Thank you, sir. Okay, next we have the Espanola Public Library. Is Ms. Sherry here, or does she have a designated
Yes, I am.
person?
She's online.
She's
Good evening.
online.
Yes, I am.
Hello, Ms.
Chairman.
Sherry.
Good evening, everyone. At the library, we're still doing a lot of programs. So right now, we're still doing a lot of our grab and go craft bags. And we do about 15 different activities, probably about 4 every week. So we're keeping busy on that. Right now, we've just started our summer reading program. And the theme for this year is Tales and Tales. And that runs till the July 30th. And we have kids signing up ages 0 to 12 years old. We have them come in and sign up, or either their parents can call and sign them up. They get bags, they get weekly prizes if they bring in their reading log. We're also, along with that, we're doing a story walk at Valdez Park. We have a lot of those corrugated plastic signs that we put the stories on, and we put it throughout the park in Valdez. And right now we're doing it from 10 to 11, but starting in July, we're going to change it from 9 to 10, only because of the heat and how hot it gets. And I know a lot of the people were complaining that it was too hot, and a lot of them weren't really coming out. But they're going to start at 9 o'clock starting in July. And now that July's coming and there's a lot of things that are opening back up, we're starting to hopefully do a lot of in-house programs, starting with the seniors craft activities. We're going to have Valerie, one of my library clerks, start doing those here. We're going to start doing some movie nights. We're also going to start probably doing some computer classes for a lot of the seniors. So those are all going to be starting back up in July. So just keep an eye out. We also have the a pass that is called the Family Pass, and it's from the Department of Cultural Affairs in the New Mexico State Library. And we're actually handing out these passes. People can come in and check it out. If you have a library card, you can come in and check this out for 2 weeks. And it's good for up to 6 people, and it's good for all the 15 state museums and historic sites that are here in New Mexico. Some which are in Albuquerque, Alamogordo, Santa Fe, Las Cruces. Those are all available, so people can come in and check those out. And you can actually renew it if 2 weeks is up and you want to do it for another 2 weeks. We can actually renew that for you. So those are some of the things that are actually getting checked out right now. You might want to just make sure and we have people call the museums to let them know that they're coming and how many people are actually in their group. So those are some of the things that are going on right now. The library hasn't been very busy compared to 2 years ago, because I don't know, everybody's going on vacation, and now that it's opened back up for everything in the state, everybody is going out, maybe doing vacations. But we're still kind of a little bit slow, but we're still trying to bring all those people in. As you can tell by the statistics there of our programs, and we have given out a lot of library cards, so that's one of the things that's moving up. And our revenue is slowly moving up again at $396.24, of course, compared to the 0 from last year. But we're still moving along, and we're still creating different programs. We want to help with the Project Race program, so we're going to try and do some waiving fines to get some school supplies that people can donate here at the library for their library fines. I was talking with Justine today, so hopefully we're going to get that going and just do a little bit more help with her and working with her, and provide a booth that day with Project Grace at the plaza. And I think that's everything that we have going on right now. Any questions?
Carmen?
Counselor Martinez?
Thank you. I just think the idea of having that story walk where you have to walk a little ways to get the next page of the story is really, really cool. That's awesome. So I appreciate you for coming up with great ideas like that. You and the staff just continue to do a great job. So thank you.
Thank you, Counselor.
Counselor Valdez, any questions or comments?
No, that is a great idea to get the students or the children up and moving instead of just sitting and reading. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to state the same thing. I think Sherry and her staff are always thinking out of the box and, very great ideas. So thank you, Sherry, and you guys keep it up. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Counselor.
Yes, thank you, Sherry. That is a great idea. I think it's really cool to see what that is thinking out of the box as you do, as Counselor Mayor Pro Tem Mr. Salazar said here. Anything else further there, Ms. Sherry?
No, that's it, Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
We'll be moving on to the Lucero Center Recreation Facility. Reports and updates. Ms. Maria Sandoval.
Sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. Good to pretty much mention in regards to what City Manager Mr. Javier Martinez was mentioning about the opening of the Ranchitos pool. I'd like to say it was quite a success. A little bit later in the season, but it happened to be pretty good. Definitely. It was a team effort, but if it wasn't for Ms. Angela Frescas, it wasn't really going to be opening sooner than it did. But it is up and running. We do have currently the 4 lifeguards, all young, but definitely very mature on that end. Thanks definitely again to Ms. Angela. They all started to work on the 15th of June. So welcoming aboard Mr. Aaron Espinosa, Nayeli Carmona, and Ms. Cameron Lopez, and of course, Andrea Padilla. She was pretty much very instrumental in welcoming them to our pack here. So therefore, in that particular instance, the Lucero Center, as far as the pool here, is pretty much ready to be not necessarily completely shut down. I don't think that could be the thing, but if it has to in order to find the leak. So then that would be good in order to open back up come either September, November, around there. Other than that, the aquatics coordinator position has also been filled. We are hoping that Ms. The name escaped me right now, Ashley, who used to be one of our head lifeguards, it will be joining us sometime soon. I'm hoping within a week or so that she'll be coming up to fill that spot, which is greatly needed right now, honestly. We are definitely running on a very short crew here. And so we're doing everything possible to accommodate everyone from the weight room to the gymnasium. And then that includes the outdoor pool. Definitely we're getting a lot of slack because, it's not open longer hours, but then again, we don't have a lot of staff there. And the reason we decided to do the Tuesday through Saturday is to have a Saturday thing for them to enjoy the pool. And we are definitely getting them by the numbers. Right now, we are at 50. individuals as far as capacity is concerned. We do let them know in regards to COVID practices, which is social distancing. As they come in, they have to wear their mask. And of course, all of that will probably change now in the 1st of July. But for the most part, most people are pretty good about doing that. It is hour for hour. And of course, you know, there are people who would like to be there a little longer. So what they usually try to do is to buy another ticket or another hour. And so we pretty much do that. We give them a ticket so that they're able to get out and then come back in, even though they're wet. Some of them, you know, they're not necessarily opposed to that. It's pretty good to know that. So we don't necessarily get a lot of slack out of that one. As you know, the recreational activities for this month, definitely we started with the men's softball league up at the Sportsplex. We are happy to basically have joined forces with McCurdy Charter School as far as their softball, girls softball. From what I understand, they are in state contention. Basically, what I want to say is the field that they basically chose to be their home field advantage paid off. It really paid off for them to continue on, and you know, we wish them the best of luck. Plus, also with Little League, their little T-ballers, pretty much as a city manager mentioned, they will be done by mid-June as well. So on that end, it was, you know, I don't know, I haven't gone up there in regards to see them practice and all that, but they seem to be okay. At first it was, you know, a little bit rocky because of the restroom situation, and then of course all the little kids. And one of the things that I'm very adamant about, and that is parking inside the gate by the dugouts as far as both fields. You know, I don't allow it. Even in the men's softball league, I don't allow that. I think that I leave that open so that the kids, whenever they go there, they're able to, you know, just stay there in front of the parents and play without having to worry that, you know, a truck is coming out or a car is coming in or whatever the case may be. So that's working out on that end. The other part is that, you know, of course, the gymnasium right now is not being utilized for any particular sports other than just practices. And so they are being rented to traveling teams, and they have provided insurance as they also come in to use it, especially when it's ongoing, where they're into tournaments from month to month, especially the whole entire summer. And so basically all of them, there's 3 teams right now that are utilizing our gymnasium in order to practice for their traveling. I believe it's amateur basketball playing on that end. So that's a good thing on our part per se. Definitely cutting ourselves, you know, thinly, because sometimes I have to ask some of my staff in order to stay longer because these particular practices happen to be after hours, after we close. So most of them do not necessarily mind on that end. So that's a good thing. As far as on our end, doing our part as far as teamwork is concerned. There are times when the senior center does want to, well, usually asks for our help in regards to food upstairs, especially Tuesdays. As you know, it's Tewa Taco Day or Indian taco. So they basically ask, you know, for help, especially Yvonne, Miss Yvonne Velasco, who's our administrative assistant. When it was during COVID, she basically would go up there and help, especially during that time. So that's still, you know, whenever she's available and she's not overwhelmed with her own work, then she gets to go up there to help out as well. let's see. There are, just to backtrack a little bit as far as softball is concerned, there are 15 teams, 6 advanced division, and 9 on the intermediate type of division. There will be a couple of tournaments coming up now in July. There are also a couple of tournaments that will be in regards to rentals. So that's a good thing. Because I basically let them know, you have got to give me insurance on that end. There's just no other way. And unfortunately, we're not sponsoring every time as far as softball tournaments are concerned. So they're understanding on that, and that's a good thing. Other than that, I don't have anything else. If anybody wants to chime in and ask for questions.
Councilor Velez, any comments or any questions? Mayor Pro Tem,
Nothing at all at this time. Thank you.
Councilor Martinez,
Nothing at all. Thank you.
nothing at all. All right. I guess my only question is, are we going to have any type of basketball men's league, women's league going on at the in the Lucero Center?
Yes. Obviously this whole, as far as the lifting of the restrictions, as far as women's volleyball and basketball, they will be, happening, not necessarily at the same time. And then also the men's league, as far as basketball is concerned, will start sometime in September.
Great. So I'm taking now with after July 1st, everything within the city when it comes to Lucero Center, the library will be open for business at full capacity, sir?
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, that's the plan. That's where I want to bring in Mr. Maestas and help facilitate that and move forward on that so we can go back to normal, if you will. I know that that transition of coming out of COVID has been a little bit of a challenge. Even if you ask around, even people that work at the lab, they're saying, a lot of the employees don't want to come back to work. They prefer to telecommuting, and just the job vacancies that we have, not just the city, but all around. If you drive through town, you can count multiple for hire signs throughout all the organization. So that's been a challenge, as Ms. Sandoval had said, in regards to getting staffing for her department, and not just her department, but all departments throughout the city.
How's that going to work, if I may ask you, when it comes to the mask mandate? Is that no longer, I know that I've heard as long as you've been vaccinated, you do not need to wear your mask. Will that just be the honor system when it comes to the library and any, parks or anything like that, or?
So, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, so that's what we've been going forth right now. So basically the honor system, if you go around town, you see a lot of people not wearing their masks, so that is the honor system, right? That if the assumption that they are fully vaccinated, because to enforce that, we don't have the staffing, and it just be a lot of issues. I know that all of you had heard in the news where an individual got shot and killed because they were trying to enforce the mask mandate. We don't want to put our staff in that danger. So definitely, if somebody feels uncomfortable with people being around, they're more than welcome to put the mask on. But we do go by the honor system.
Thank you. Anything for Ms. Sandoval? No. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
You too. Okay, we'll move on with the Beatrice Martinez Senior Center. Ms. Dora Terrazas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. As you can see, unlike Lucero Center and the library, we were open the whole time of COVID. We did some revenues. Actually, now that we were doing the drive-ups, we did pretty good in the revenues. Our month of June, we kind of slowed down a little bit, and I think it was due to the sun. It was pretty hot. A few days, our Fridays were pretty slow. We are beginning again to bring up that revenue. However, though, we do have the part-time position open. So anybody looking for a job, we have a position here as well too. We've had that advertised for a while now as well. We do plan on opening, like Javier said, July 6th. We have put the word out there. Our seniors are happy, and the gym will be open as well then too. We continue to rent the facilities. This month, we have gotten a few now that COVID restrictions have been lifted somewhat. We continue to rent the senior center. I'm now in charge for the rentals as well of the Mission and the other facilities of the city. So we have a few. Hopefully we'll be able to bring up our revenue there. We started up with the Zumba as well. We have the rentals in the evenings, Monday through Friday. They're at the senior center at 6 o'clock. Miss Maria Varela came back renting the senior center for her Zumba classes. So those of you who need exercises, there's some there. We did put in for the ICIP, the 2022 and 2026 grants with the ALTSD grants as well. So hopefully with our fingers crossed, we'll get some of that money to be able to upgrade our kitchen items and our vehicles, which are in dire need of those. We have a variety of items on our menus. We tend to change them up. So look them up, come and have a good meal. Mr. Frankie and the staff are very good cooks. We got a lot of compliments now on the food that was given out for the Juneteenth on Friday. We do have the upcoming events with the seniors, hopefully some movies to come, cakewalks, dances, and some storytelling, hopefully get the seniors together and kind of collaborate with the library and see how we can do that. Okay, any questions, anyone?
Any questions?
Comment?
Go ahead, Councilor Martinez.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank Dora and the staff. I've eaten there twice in the last month. I had the Tewa taco course, which was scrumptious. And I also had that strawberry chicken salad with the cantaloupe for dessert. And that was really a good salad too. So thank you guys for what you're doing and keep up the good work. I know there's a lot of positive feedback from constituents that really enjoy going to pick up that meal. It's such a great value for anybody that's retired or stuff like that. So something that we definitely need to continue. Thank you. And possibly can think about still having that drive-up service so that seniors don't have to get down in case they don't want to go into the senior center. That's something I'd like to see here at the city also with the water bill. I was recently here last Friday to pay my bill, and a senior lady drove up and she struggled to get to the door to pay her bill. It took her about a good 4 or 5 minutes to get from their car to the door and then into the building and then back out again. And I really feel like with the ingenuity that's out there with the tubular vacuum system at a bank, that we should somehow consider that maybe we could do a drive-up service for that so that our seniors don't have to struggle so much to get in the building, the handicapped people especially. So it's something that we may be looking forward to, drive-up water bills paying service. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have to agree with you on the food. Several of my coworkers do routinely now are getting their lunch from you. And now they just ask me, can you please get me the menu for the month? So that's why that's why everybody wants the menu.
Yes.
And I agree with you with our seniors. We do have to continue with the drive-through. I think that was very, very well received. And the same thing with, I think, with the city as well. Maybe to look into that as well. Anything else, counselors?
Mr. Chair, if I may, I just want to, one comment and one question. The comment is, I get that feedback a lot about the great food. So you guys keep that up. Also, the question I do have, I'm just out of curiosity, is as far as the rentals go, now that COVID is, kind of subsiding, are you getting more calls in reference to rentals? Is it a lot, little?
Yeah, we have just a few right now. It's very low right now. I think everybody is kind of checking everybody else, the casinos and everything else that's available now. But we are slowly bringing them in back again.
Very good. Thank you, Dora. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Do we advertise at all as far as that the senior center is available for rentals for parties or graduation parties, that kind of thing?
So what, with the clerk's department, we offer a coffee break every other Wednesday. And so our city clerk, Ms. Serrano, puts out an email to all department heads to who wants to fill these slots. And when we're open and we have this, the senior center and community services take up a slot and they advertise any of the functions. Even the library will go on there, senior center will go on there, different departments to advertise these things. So we do that.
Okay. Thank you. Well. Oh, great. Is there anything else?
I'll be on coffee break on Wednesday.
On Wednesday. All right. Well, with that, I guess we can adjourn this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Tomorrow, Tuesday. At 11:30, everybody starts lining up, actually sometimes at 11. $3 for the seniors. Non-seniors is 60.
See you guys tomorrow.
Mhm.
You're right. We'll be in touch.
We'll see you. Yep. We'll see you tomorrow. Mhm. Preschool. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think she has a teacher now for that. Yeah. Oh, well, you get it. Yeah.